Could a remote Swedish town 50 kilometres north of Stockholm take its place in history? In the town of Rimbo, behind the guarded walls of this local castle, history is in the making. For the first time in 2 years, the internationally recognised Yemeni government and Iranian-backed Houthi rebel forces came face to face. Could a resolution to the ongoing war in Yemen be found as preliminary peace talks brokered by the UN get underway?
Let us be in no doubt that Yemen's future is in the hands of those of us in this room. The country's institutions are at risk. The fragmentation of the country is an enormous concern, and we must act now before we lose control of the future of Yemen.
The talks aim to establish a framework for a peace agreement to de-escalate violence that has claimed tens of thousands of lives and reopen the main airport in Sana'a. But the peace talks also provided the opportunity for 12 Yemeni journalists to come to Sweden under the umbrella of a UNESCO initiative to provide impartial coverage.
Videos, social media and articles. This is the main composition of the newsroom, and the newsroom is led by an editor-in-chief who is actually an expert who has done this work with CFI and UNESCO in many different initiatives in the Arab region. The situation in Yemen now is that, as I was saying, the media landscape is very polarized, where a lot of the media are driven by political agendas. And so there needs to be, let's say, a third voice that is providing balanced information to the Yemeni public.
But one voice very clear today was that of aid agencies who are warning that Yemen is close to a full-blown famine, and they're calling for safer passage to deliver aid in the country.
Millions of people in Yemen have nothing to eat. They don't know what the next meal will be. Today, the World Food Programme is feeding 8 million people a month. That's huge. At the end of this month, at the end of December, we will scale up to 10 million people, and at the end of January to 12 million people every month.
And just to give you an idea of the scale of the food scarcity, Yemen has a population of 29 million people. So the situation is getting very desperate indeed. So the talks here, expected to go into the next week, are very important. But the question remains, will they bring the results needed to bring an end to the suffering? Mariam Zaidi, CGTN, Rimbo.